A thick layer of grime obscures the once vibrant paint, hiding the history of the famous machine. Light floods the dark space as the recovery team prepares to extract the vehicle for full restoration.
The seized wheels drag across the concrete floor as the winch cable pulls the heavy chassis forward.
Transport units secure the load, moving the relic to a specialized facility equipped for industrial-grade repairs.
Upon arrival at the workshop, the vehicle is staged in the wash bay for initial decontamination procedures.
High-pressure water jets blast away the solidified mud, revealing the extent of the corrosion on the panels. Decades of sediment wash into the drains, stripping the vehicle down to its compromised metal surface base.
A chemical foaming agent is applied to loosen organic contaminants that have bonded to the exterior paint. Stiff bristle brushes agitate the surface, mechanically breaking down the stubborn residue clinging to the roofline. The final rinse reveals the true condition of the bodywork, which requires extensive metal fabrication and repair. Technicians remove the rusted lug nuts using pneumatic impact wrenches to detach the wheels from the hubs.
The wheels are set aside for disposal, while the brake assembly is inspected for seizure and wear.
Corroded fasteners snap under torque pressure as the front bumper assembly is carefully removed from the frame. The hood is unbolted from its hinges and placed on a stand for separate stripping and bodywork.
The interior components are extracted, including the mold-infested seating, which must be completely reupholstered or replaced.
Wiring harnesses and dashboard instruments are labeled and removed to prevent damage during the chemical stripping process. The engine block is hoisted from the bay, allowing access to the frame rails for deep cleaning. With all components removed, the bare metal shell stands ready for the abrasive media blasting stage. High-velocity abrasive media impacts the metal surface, stripping away layers of old paint, filler, and rust.
The iconic red paint disintegrates under the nozzle pressure, exposing the raw steel substrate underneath the coating. Operators direct the nozzle into the wheel wells to remove heavy corrosion scale from the structural frame.
Compressed air removes the residual dust, leaving the chassis clean, silver, and ready for bodywork inspection.
A chemical converter is applied to deep pits to neutralize any microscopic oxidation remaining in the pores. Severely compromised sections of the quarter panel are cut away using a pneumatic die grinder wheel.
New sheet metal patches are welded into place to restore the structural integrity of the vehicle body.
Grinding discs smooth the weld seams until they are flush with the surrounding metal surface panels.
Body filler is spread over minor imperfections to create a perfectly smooth foundation for the paint system. Technicians sand the cured filler blocks by hand to achieve the correct contour and surface level.
Critical areas are masked with paper and tape to protect them from overspray during the priming stage.
An epoxy primer is sprayed over the bare metal to seal the surface and prevent future corrosion. The primer coat is allowed to cure completely before being sanded smooth for the base coat application.
Fine grit wet sanding removes any texture from the primer, creating a glass-like surface for painting.
The custom red pigment is mixed with reducer and hardener to match the exact factory color specification.
The first layer of red base coat is applied in long, overlapping strokes to ensure even coverage. As the solvents evaporate, the vibrant red color begins to emerge, restoring the racer's visual identity. Multiple coats saturate the body with color, building up the necessary depth for the final finish.
An artist carefully airbrushes the signature lightning bolt graphic directly onto the side of the door panel.
The masking tape is removed to reveal the sharp, crisp lines of the yellow and orange graphic.
Stencils are used to paint the racing number onto the roof, aligning it perfectly with the center line. A high-gloss clear coat is sprayed over the entire vehicle to seal the graphics and protect the paint.
The wet clear coat reflects the booth lights, highlighting the flawlessness of the newly restored surface finish.
Rotary polishers remove any dust nibs or orange peel texture, bringing the shine to a mirror finish.
In the mechanical bay, disassembled engine components are scrubbed in a solvent tank to remove oil deposits. The cylinder walls are honed to restore the proper crosshatch pattern required for piston ring seating. New pistons and connecting rods are installed into the block, torqued to the manufacturer's precise specifications. The engine block receives a fresh coat of heat-resistant enamel paint to match the vehicle's aesthetic. The cylinder heads and valve covers are bolted on, completing the rebuild of the power plant core. The refurbished engine is carefully lowered into the painted engine bay and secured to the fresh mounts. Technicians reconnect the wiring harnesses and cooling hoses, integrating the mechanical systems with the vehicle chassis. Suspension springs are sandblasted and powder-coated to ensure durability and restore the original ride height.
New high-performance brake rotors and red calipers are installed to provide modern stopping power for the racer.
Fresh racing slick tires are mounted onto the restored red rims using a hydraulic tire-changing machine.
The completed wheel assemblies are bolted onto the hubs, giving the vehicle its aggressive racing stance.
New fabric is stitched and stretched over the seat frames to replicate the original interior design specifications.
The refurbished seats are lowered into the cockpit and bolted to the floor pan rails securely.
A pristine dashboard and steering wheel are installed, completing the restoration of the driver's control environment.
The front windshield glass is carefully set into the rubber seal, closing the cabin from the elements.
A specialized perforated decal is applied to the windshield to recreate the character's signature eye expression.
The front bumper assembly, featuring the iconic mouth grille, is aligned and bolted to the chassis frame. New lighting units are wired and installed into the body cavities, restoring the vehicle's illumination capabilities. The large rear spoiler is bolted onto the trunk lid to provide aerodynamic downforce at high speeds.
The battery cables are connected to the terminals, energizing the electrical system for the first test.
The ignition is engaged, and the rebuilt engine roars to life, vibrating the chassis with power.
Exhaust gases flow freely through the new pipes, expelling condensation as the system reaches operating temperature.
Mechanics check the oil level to ensure proper lubrication circulation throughout the newly assembled engine block components. The chrome exhaust tips are polished by hand to remove fingerprints and enhance the rear visual appeal. Interior surfaces are wiped down with protectant to clean dust and condition the new dashboard materials. Glass cleaner is used on the windows to ensure streak-free visibility for the driver and cameras.
A layer of dressing is applied to the tire sidewalls to give the rubber a deep, black shine.
Ceramic wax is applied to the paintwork to provide long-lasting protection and enhance the red gloss.
The wax is buffed off with a microfiber towel, leaving the paint looking like deep, liquid red.
Headlight beams are aligned against a wall chart to ensure they point correctly for safe night driving. The hood is gently closed and latched, concealing the mechanical heart of the restored racing machine. The sponsor logo is carefully applied to the hood, completing the authentic livery of the race car.
The rear wheels spin at high speed, simulating track conditions to ensure the drivetrain handles the load.
Data screens confirm that the restoration has successfully returned the engine to its original performance metrics.
The car is unstrapped and driven off the testing rig, having passed all mechanical quality control checks.
The restored vehicle backs out of the garage, seeing natural sunlight for the first time since rescue. Natural light hits the polished curves, emphasizing the transformation from rusted scrap to showroom condition.
The side graphic reflects the surroundings, proving the surface preparation and clear coat application were flawless. A quick throttle blip demonstrates the responsive nature of the tuned engine and the aggressive exhaust note.
Every angle of the vehicle has been meticulously addressed, leaving no trace of the previous decay.
The car moves onto the tarmac for a final shakedown run to test handling and braking. It accelerates down the straightaway, tracking straight and true without any vibration from the chassis.
The suspension handles the cornering forces effortlessly, keeping the tires planted firmly on the asphalt surface.
The new brake system brings the heavy vehicle to a rapid, controlled stop within the safety zone. Satisfied with the performance, the test driver returns the vehicle to the staging area for handover.
The car is parked on a studio turntable to showcase the finished product under controlled lighting conditions.
This restoration process has successfully salvaged a piece of automotive history that was destined for the scrapyard.
A side-by-side comparison highlights the dramatic difference between the recovered shell and the finished restoration. The iconic expression is revitalized, returning the personality to the cold metal and plastic components. The depth of the paintwork demonstrates the high level of skill involved in the refinishing process. The project is now complete, and the vehicle is ready to be returned to the collection.
From a forgotten pile of rust to a champion once more, the racer is back to life.
For more industrial restoration documentaries and mechanical engineering insights, please subscribe to the channel.
Thank you for watching this detailed audio-visual documentation of the automotive recovery and rebuild process.